chopping block is back. Yeah, it's been a shorter break than I anticipated, but I'm back and I'm ready to work on some stuff. In fact, I've already worked on some stuff. I've finally gotten some semblance of an idea down for Alchemy. So like I talked about in the last episode, I changed the Alchemy UI. Oh, ignore these. I changed the Alchemy UI because I didn't really like how it was before, and now it has some new functions. So first, let's grab a Philosopher's Stone, which I'll remind you does not stack normally. It only stacks if you pick block it. And that's just because of how I made it unstackable. Custom unstackable items are weird. But if we pick up the Philosopher's Stone and some Warped Wart, we can have a look at the first function of the Alchemy table. So first, you'll put in your Warped Wart here and your Philosopher's Stone here. And then you can combine 2 potions into 1 alchemic potion, which has the effects of both potions that you've combined. Now, you can only combine 2 potion effects together. If you try to combine 2 alchemic potions, it just won't work. But you can actually get some pretty strong potions with this. It does use up a use of your Philosopher's Stone, so you'll have to get another one after 8 uses. But if you make a particularly dangerous potion that you want to put on someone else, you can combine them with gunpowder to make a splash potion. And these splash potions can be pretty dang powerful. They can even be combined with a dragon's breath to create a lingering potion that is very dangerous to survival players. Now that's not all you can do. I plan on adding more recipes to the alchemy table. These are just a few. To make this make sense, it's the first slot plus the second slot equals the third slot. So mixing copper and iron together will produce gold. Mixing amethyst and gold together will produce budding amethyst. I also want to find a way to use the alchemy tomes, because these are very interesting items that I actually want to use in chopping block. I just need to find a purpose for them in alchemy. You'll have to bear with me while I work out the kinks of alchemy and actually get all these recipes set in stone. It's gonna take quite a few iterations to actually get right, but I hope the end product will be worth it. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. This big, fat, unused texture. So some of my custom blocks use infested stone in order to work. I have a spare block that has been unused that initially I planned on using for expanding the end, but I never ended up using it actually for anything. And I'm also thinking that these 3 ores aren't really necessary to the game. They can be obtained through the ore infuser, but by the time you have an ore infuser, you definitely have enough quartz that you don't need these ores. And it's way better to get netherite from bees or from sifting sand than it is to get it from an ore infuser. So this means I have 4 custom blocks to play around with that I can turn into building blocks, maybe gravity blocks. Maybe, if I really want another gravity block in the game. Okay, so it's the next day, and I have added the new blocks. 4 new blocks for building. Here they are. I decided that there weren't enough industrial-looking early game blocks for the player to build with, so I decided to give them these smooth stone options. That way you have a block that you can use to build something pretty industrial-looking. These blocks can be crafted in the crafting table. You just grab some smooth stone, 4 in a square makes smooth stone bricks, 2 on top of each other makes smooth stone pillars, 4 bricks in a square makes smooth stone tiles, and putting 2 smooth stone slabs on top of each other will get you smooth stone sheeting. And these all work exactly the way you'd expect them to. Now the reason the pillar and the sheeting use the same texture just turned 90 degrees is because I can't make blocks directional like this. I can't add new block states like that, so I just have to deal with this. I might also take this opportunity to give smooth stone sheeting a custom top texture so that way you can have a nice, interesting floor pattern as well. And yes, these all can be crafted in a stone cutter. And the most important thing to note is that they do in fact all work in survival. I'm sure by now that you've all noticed the new textures over here. Don't freak out. This isn't a change to how either of these machines work. They still work exactly the same. I've just changed the crafting recipe to use copper ingots now instead of deep slate. The reason for this change is just that deep slate is a little more difficult to get than I initially kind of expected and thought it would be, and I haven't really added a good way to obtain it. You kind of just hope that you get deep slate from Alchemy, and it's not the most common of occurrences. So I think waiting until you have the copper to spare on these machines is perfectly reasonable, and it gives copper more uses, which I talked about wanting to do a few episodes ago. By the way, let's talk about the ancient cog. I never really mentioned it, but I changed the ancient cog away from the ancient rune, and the main reason for that was just because I really did not like the idea of having runes in the game. There's a long-standing rule in Minecraft's game design that we don't want to try and reference real-world cultures and societies, and runes kind of do that already. Yes, I'm aware the Angel Halo kind of breaks this rule, but we'll address that in the future. So I decided instead of having a callback to cultures that used runes, I would have a callback to old Minecraft and use ancient cogs to upgrade the machines. This also solved an issue I had where I had no idea how I wanted runes to be obtained or crafted other than being dropped by witches. But because cogs are typically made of iron or steel, I can pretty easily think of a crafting recipe for the ancient cog. So all that's changed about the ancient cog is that, well, you can craft it now. And it looks different, and it's called a different thing, but it still works exactly the same. I don't remember if I made this change in the alpha of Chopping Block, so I'm just letting you guys know now. Also, yes, I have fixed the block placer for 1.20.4. I don't know what was wrong, but something was wrong and the block deployer wasn't working, but now it's working. I've also updated the book command that gives you the chopping block guide to 1.20.4. So now this entire book will work on the latest Minecraft update. So if you don't follow me on Planet Minecraft, which you should because I post data packs on there that I don't really talk about on the channel, you'll know that I created this data pack called A Whole New World of Color that adds 48 new building blocks into the vanilla base game. Now, it's not a perfect data pack and it's not as watertight as I would like it to be for Chopping Block, but I'm focusing on building today. I might as well go ahead and add this because I've been wanting to add it to Chopping Block. The problem is, if you scroll down and look at the incompatibilities, we can see that any data packs that use these for custom items are incompatible. And if we go back to Minecraft, as you can see, really are neither of them... Did I really do that just to... Wait, so does this work now? So it turns out that the incompatibilities aren't actually to do with what items are used for custom items. That's not an issue. I apparently paid off that tech debt a long time ago. The issue is it uses the bone engine, and so does base chopping block. So I still can't just paste it into chopping block, drag and drop it in. There's still work that I have to do to make it compatible. Oh boy, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. Oh, lovely. Oh, that's great. So here's a weird bug. So masonry's been done, it's been added, it's in chopping block now. There's very few issues. Well, except for one issue, and you're actually not gonna guess what it is. The custom items don't have their custom names when they're given to the player. Watch this. It's only World of Color too. So if I do the command to give myself acacia seeds from Small Beginnings, you'll see they're acacia seeds. They're renamed, they have their custom name, even though if we turn on tooltips, it's an acacia sapling. Okay, that's normal for chopping block. Now let's run the command to give me a chisel. Okay, I have the custom item, but it doesn't have the custom name. If I turn on tooltips, it just says stone sword. It has the NBT tag, and better yet, check this out. Data get entity at s selected item. It has the NBT for the name. I am looking so hard at this text right now, trying to find where the NBT is messed up. And I, for the life of me, cannot find where this NBT is messed up. It's actually driving me a little crazy. Okay, and watch this. If I function masonry and I give myself all chiseled porcelain, right? I'm about to give myself a barrel that I pick blocked and then used a command to get the NBT of. So it should have the plus NBT flag, right? No, it doesn't. It doesn't have any NBT flags. It's not showing any of them, and I don't know why. I think I'm gonna have to turn it off and turn it back on again. Turning it off and on again did actually not fix the problem. I don't know what's wrong. So to make sure I'm not crazy, I'm on the original world where I developed Whole New World of Color, where the only data pack that is installed is Whole New World of Color. And if I go over to my custom items, the barrier has the custom name, the chisel doesn't have the custom name, and not a single one of the custom blocks has its custom name. I am genuinely amazed that the barrier does. Is the problem the lack of spaces? Surely that's not it, right? Like, hold on. I genuinely can't figure out the problem, and that's a problem for me. I just don't know. All right. So it's been like an hour, and I've been troubleshooting. And it's done. I did it. I fixed the problem. I'm so happy I fixed the problem. We can turn off tooltips and now everything just looks nice. And if we put down our little barrels full of items, we have all the new blocks from Whole New World of Color in these barrels, just ready to go. So if I want to build something with like yellow terracotta bricks, I can do that, and then I could destroy it if I want. This is so cool. It's finally in chopping block. Yeah, this was supposed to get added in the original update, and then I just like really didn't want to bother with adding it. And now it's added. So yeah. Okay, enough rambling. I want to show you guys what was wrong, what was stripping me up. Capitalization errors. Capitalization errors were messing me up. Display is not supposed to be capitalized, but name is supposed to be capitalized. And apparently, between 1.20.2 and 1.20.4, that distinction became a lot more important. Either that, or they changed it like they did the custom potion effect thing. But like, no other item in chopping block is affected, so I'm just confused about that one. But it doesn't matter, because now a Whole New World of Color is in chopping block, and that means that in this one episode, I have managed to add over 50 new building blocks. You guys are welcome. Yeah, the next chopping block update's gonna be really fun. So now I guess the last step is to figure out alchemy. Oh boy, this is... Okay, so before I record this clip, I want to say a couple things. One, I want to say it's never been a secret that chopping block takes a lot of inspiration from the Tempest box. And another thing is that yes, I'm well aware that this feature is just from the Tempest box. However, I think I can make this idea work in chopping block if I implement it just right. So here's how this is gonna work. You go into your alchemy table, you put in your warped wart and your philosopher's stone, and you put in a potion of your choice. Instant health, strength, or speed. You can also do the strong versions of those as well. You put one of those in with a gold ingot, and they will infuse together and give you an attribute gem. Now, I don't think I'm gonna actually keep the name attribute gems because that's a little generic and lazy, but I also don't want to just copy the attribute canisters or the spirit gems from the Tempest box. I mean, I like Zoe's work, but I don't want to plagiarize. So I guess what I have to do now is come up with the icons for the 3 gems or totems, or I don't know what they're gonna be. Maybe they're one-use filters or something, who knows. But I need to make the item textures and implement the items, and then I will worry about actually crafting them in the alchemy table. Holy crap, actually, wait, hold on, wait. This might be a really good chance to use the alchemy tomes. So what if instead of alchemy tomes for all the different alchemical reagents, how about I just have alchemy tomes for the potions? Or like the effects that the potions are giving. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm very incoherent today. I haven't recorded in a long time. I also realized that this allows me to implement the flasks that I added before, which add status effects to your melee attacks. Or maybe these also turn into attribute gems or whatever I end up making, and you hold it in your offhand to get that effect. I mean, I think it could work. Yeah, I'd have to undo all the work I did programming flasks into the game, but like, hey, man, when have I ever had an issue undoing work that I spent a long time doing? You saw it in season 1. So here's a little insight into how the alchemy tomes like texture works. So there's just a base blank alchemy tome texture that I have, and this is the base like layer for the texture of the item, but you can also add secondary layers on top of that to like layer up the texture. This is kind of how spawn eggs and trims work. So the second layer is just the symbol that's on the front of the tome. So what I'm thinking is I could repurpose a lot of these. Even if I keep the symbol, I can just change the name to the name of the potion effect that it is. So I might not even have to come up with new symbols. So I was only able to pre-configure one of the alchemy tomes, and that was the air tome, which gives you jump boost. This isn't how they're going to work in the final version, by the way. They're also going to have a random debuff to your health, your strength, or your speed. But jump boost is the only potion effect out of the 4 that I've chosen for this that can't be modified with an attribute. So to make the other tomes work, I will need to go ahead and program the crafting recipe for them. But first, I want to show you how these tomes work. So when you hold them in your main hand, they don't do anything, you know, when they're just in your inventory. But if you put one in your offhand, then you will get the status effect. So you'll see if I have a block here, you'll see I am jumping well above that block. Let me go, let me grab a slab, and you'll see, you know, I get jump boost 1. If I put this alchemy tome in my hand, the second one, then I get jump boost 2, and that's pretty cool. And then if I get the third one in my offhand, then I get jump boost 3, which lets me do that. Which is pretty cool. So how this is going to work is you're going to put a strong leaping potion in this slot and a gold ingot in this slot, and then the output is going to randomly be one of these, 1, 2, or 3 jump boosts, and then it will also have a random negative attribute. So even if you make the same exact recipe every single time, you'll get a different item every time, and you'll always have one tome that is better than the others. They're also not visible in your offhand in first person, just because it takes up screen space for something that's pretty much always going to be there when you have it. However, it is visible in third person, just so that other players can see that you have an effect active. Now, I would stick around and program the rest of the tomes and the crafting recipes in this video, but this video is running over time. It is already longer than I wanted it to be, and it's also taking way longer to get out than I thought it would. Like, I wanted to get this out on Friday, and it's Monday when I record this. So I am going to leave it there and give you guys something to look forward to at the beginning of the next chopping block devlog. I do also have some other news that is pretty nice that I might talk about in the future. I'm not sure. If I don't, then just forget I ever said this. But thank you so much for watching. Well, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. My name is Bex, and I'm out. I'll see you next time. And I'm realizing that this also means that I can, the flasks again, that add status effects to your, implement the flasks that add. I realized this could also help me implement the. I realized that this could help me. This could let me. I realize that this would let me implement the flasks, which add status effects to your melee attacks. Jesus Christ. I might just keep that one in, or like a blooper reel. Oh my god.